Okay, uh, I'm online. Tell me if you can hear me well. Hello, Selson. Thank you. All right. So we can start. Thanks for coming here with such a short notice. As I said, yeah, after I would say um, 3 months of a stop. Now finally we have the live. I think let me double check because I have a monitor here um, to see what is happening in real time, and apparently part of the video is kind of blocked by a square white box. Let me check. Maybe I can adjust this. Uh, can you tell me if you see entirely the video or just part of it? Okay, okay. So maybe it's just on my end. So well, let me let me do something. He- Okay, okay. Well, maybe it's a temporary um, problem. Uh, okay. Yeah, I meant that on my side there was like a white box covering a part of the video that I don't know where it comes from, but if you don't see it, probably is a problem on my side. So we can continue. Let me summarize a little bit what happened with these videos we were posting on YouTube and with the lives. Uh, so during the last summer, we started to publish some video tutorials, new video tutorials about DaDaBIK. The first video tutorial went well, so I decided to um, working a lot on videos, and I decided to keep a regular schedule, uh, 2 videos per month plus one live the first Monday of each month. I decided to try it for a few months, and I did it. The purpose was on one side, the tutorials we had online were quite old, so we needed new tutorials as a documentation for people using DaDaBIK. And on the other side, also the fact that those tutorials can help um, finding new users. So basically, new potential users can see the videos and know DaDaBIK. Uh, I think it worked, but after a few months, I needed to, first reduce the number of videos per month, and then almost stop them. So for 2 reasons. The first one was that in this period of the year, the academic part of my job is very intense, so I have less time to uh, to invest in DaDaBIK respect to the rest of the year. And the second reason is that starting from, I would say, December, January, I started to work a lot on the integration of artificial intelligence into DaDaBIK. And basically, I ended up creating a new product, AI, based on DaDaBIK plus artificial with the help of artificial intelligence. I have a video about that, and probably most of you already know it. AI, you can see it. And using that new product, again, based on DaDaBIK, you can create a DaDaBIK application starting from a text description. So now, uh, I'm still working on that. I mean, I'm still working on the artificial intelligence part of DaDaBIK. So what I want to add to DaDaBIK using artificial intelligence, and I'm working on DaDaBIK 12 in general. But I have kind of reviewed my priorities related to DaDaBIK 12, and I want to talk to you about that. Uh, During the very last live, so at the beginning of January, I think I mentioned the fact that I was looking for um, a person who could help me with the strategy, even the marketing strategy of DaDaBIK. Uh, and I found him. I found a person that started to help me. We already spent sometimes analyzing, well, most of the time was about Apify text, but we also analyzed the whole DaDaBIK project. I'm quite happy about his work. He is a marketing specialist, but he graduated in computer science. So it's a very peculiar profile, I would say, because he can understand very well my product, but he also have, this. He is a marketing specialist. So after some, after having discussed the project with this person, I realized that I needed to stop a little bit the um, the release of new features, like working on new features, and try to make the product better and more appealing for the user. So what I'm thinking to do right now for DaDaBIK 12 is the following. So I have some priorities. So what now are priorities for me? Um, and on one side, there is something I want to talk, that is, I want to discuss, and that is the inclusion of AI features in DaDaBIK. How? So I think there are four elements, four points in the DaDaBIK application that can be impacted by AI. The first one is, well, I would like to take what I did on epifytext.ai and use it in DaDaBIK. So basically, you will have an additional way you can use to install DaDaBIK. So far, you can install a blank application. You can install DaDaBIK over an existing DB. You can start from an Excel or CSV file. You can start from a prepackaged application. So you already have four ways. You will have an additional fifth way you can use, and that is start from a text description. So basically, you write your app description, install, and you get an application, or at least a draft of the application that you can then refine. And this is something that I don't think it should, create any, uh, issue, I would say, and, most of the work is already done, basically, and that is the first, thing. Second thing, I would like to use AI to produce, samples of records. I realize that, many times when you start a new application, you are missing, the data, and so you don't see how the application really, will really look like finally, especially if you want to create dashboards, charts, or any kind of reports. Without data, well, you don't really see the application in its final stage. And adding, data is time consuming. I mean, sometimes you already have data, but sometimes you don't because it's a completely new application. So I would like to add a little button for each table, obviously only for admins, that allow to add um, sample sample of records created by the AI for that specific use case. So if you have a customer's table, you will get, first, last name, and PT address, and so on and so forth. If you have a products table, you will get real product description, something like that. I think it would be very useful. And again, even in that case, I don't see mm, big challenges. Okay. Um, the other two things I would like to add are first one is a help for creating custom code. Let me give you an example. Let's say you want to validate a field using a custom validation function. Okay. Well, if you have a particularly weird rule to use, maybe you need a regular expression to validate your data, but maybe you're not an expert in writing regular expressions. So maybe you can describe what you want to achieve with your validation function and get the code to use in DaDaBIK to add the custom validation function. Fourth thing is very, the last thing I'm discussing is the very first I worked on. Probably remember the video I published where I was extracting information from a DaDaBIK application using natural language. Something like, "Tell me who is my most important customer," and boom, I got the answer without using SQL or without using the graphical interface at all, okay? That is still something I want to add to DaDaBIK. But, um, I have a few concerns. So, first of all, I'm not 100% sure to use, OpenAI, so I will evaluate other options, and that's one thing. But for the last 2 elements, so, creation of custom code and extraction of knowledge from the application, I have a few, let's say, ethical concerns. Why? Uh, well, as you know, and we also discussed that in the video, uh, if I ask to extract some information using natural language, the answer I got could be wrong. Okay, we cannot be sure it is correct. So what is happening behind the scene is that what you write in your text is together with the context provided by DaDaBIK is translated by the AI into an SQL statement, then DaDaBIK executes the SQL statement and um, gives you back the answer. Like your most important customer is John Smith, something like that. During this process, in particular, in the part where your text is translated into an SQL query, can have can generate mistakes, and we cannot check that. I mean, we cannot validate that. And even if I can add disclaimers, of course, I don't know if adding such a feature is the good thing to do, because maybe it can be misused. I mean, maybe users um, feel like the system will always provide the right answer, but maybe the answer is completely wrong. I still have to figure out uh, how to mitigate this issue. I have to think about it for this feature and also for the creation of custom code that has basically the same problem. Even the custom code created could be wrong, and there's no automatic way to check it. Instead, for the first two features, like sample records and sample records is, I think, is pretty. Um, I mean, it's pretty easy to implement and cannot generate big mistakes. Okay, and even the creation of an application, well, maybe it's not the best application, but at least if you most probably, if the application has some issues, you will realize it using it. Instead, if I give you a wrong information, well, for you, just that information, and unless you then recheck the information, trying to get it by using other means like rewriting everything in SQL, well, there's no checking out. So I have to think about that. Obviously, if you have any suggestions, I'm here to hear your feedback, your suggestions that are, as always, are very, very welcome. So this was related to AI. So what I want to add in terms of AI elements to DaDaBIK. Then talking about DaDaBIK 12 in general, again, after discussing with this guy I mentioned um, before about DaDaBIK, I'm now convinced that I have two big priorities. One is a new website. So the DaDaBIK website is old. You know, it has been refreshed during the years a little bit, but it has been created in 2012, so more than 10 years. So it's time to redesign completely the DaDaBIK website, and the redesign is already under construction. So the new website is already under construction. Uh, I'm not sure if I will release the new version of the website together with DaDaBIK 12, or because it's something I can do even before or later. But maybe it would be nice to release both at the same time. I will see. Second priority, the user interface of DaDaBIK. So not only the website, but also the user interface of DaDaBIK, both the front end and the back end. For this part, I haven't started yet, and I'm still not sure which is the best option. I have a few options. Um, well, one option is to try to make the design, the user interface, more fresh, more modern, but keeping the actual uh, design, the actual root, just an incremental sort of refactoring of the design. Uh, the other option is to redesign everything from scratch, and in this case, I have also other two sub options. The first one is use a template, maybe a Bootstrap based template, and work on that. Second one is do everything from scratch using Bootstrap or even other frameworks. I think, I mean, after having evaluated the few options, I still think that Bootstrap is the best option in my use case, but still open to change my mind. So, web design, user interface, user experience. So, what I've understood analyzing DaDaBIK with the fresh opinion of the person that is completely out of the project is that the feature set of DaDaBIK nowadays is very rich, but probably users don't know many of the features. And I realized that when uh, this guy, after having worked on DaDaBIK for quite a bit, hasn't realized that we have the live edit option feature. So you can double click on a value and edit the value on the grid. And I realized that this is not obvious at all. So what I want to work on, so what I want to stop for at least for some weeks slash months is adding completely new big features because we have already a lot of features, but they need to be more the whole process of using those features should be more smooth. So I should work on that. I should work on presenting the features so that users, and I mean both um, admins and final users, realize we have those features and yeah, more in general, uh, make the whole user experience more nicer, I would say. I don't find any better term at the moment, but I think is you got what I mean. Uh, yeah, Celso, you are right. Live edit is a relatively new feature, but still, it is something that, for example, other um, tools don't have. But if users don't even realize the feature exists, well, then it's a problem because mm, I invest time in developing features that people don't realize are available, and that's absolutely not good. So in the very last release of DaDaBIK, I added a little message, double click to edit if live edit is enabled. That can help a little bit, but th that was just an example. I think that more in general, I should make things more clear. Maybe hiding some complexity in the admin section there are a lot of configuration options that maybe can be, I mean, I can, by default, show some basic configuration, and then, um, more advanced users can, show also the more advanced, configuration options. That is, something, I can, definitely, do. Another thing that helped me a lot, understanding, um, what I should invest on is the fact that I've recently, well, during the last few months, I worked, on a new application. I mean, I created an application, for a customer using DaDaBIK from scratch, so completely from scratch, and, I kind of, noticed every time there was something that was not as smooth as I expected, as a developer during the development of the application using DaDaBIK. I took note of that. So now I have a long list of little, little things, that if fixed, can improve, the general experience, hopefully. What else? Let me check my notes here. Uh, okay. Then, another thing I want to, uh, invest some time on is moving some configuration options, to the admin section. I mean, some configuration options you have in the config file, moving them uh, mm, to the web admin, and this is also useful to, allow user to see those configuration options, because I think that many users, mm, don't go through the config file that now is very, very huge, and, uh, yeah, the result is that, they don't even realize that there are, um, such options. I can see it from the support request, from many, many things. Okay. And finally, I will add, more, CRUD custom code API. That this is something, I started, in DaDaBIK 11.7, I think, with the get record details method. I added, new methods, in DaDaBIK 11.9, so the very last, release, and I kind of refactored, the whole, um, uh, custom code API. I will work more on that because, I would like that when you add, your custom code, I would like to be as compact, and as secure as possible. Um, and that's the way to go. Adding more API methods to, do very easily the very common things. Okay, so these are my priorities now for Academic 12. As you can see, I changed a bit, respect to the, initial roadmap I discussed, some years ago, but, sometimes you have to change your mind, if you realize that, you are going, through the wrong path. So at least, for a few weeks, slash months, I want to force myself, investing time, with the user interface, user experience. And when I say force myself, uh, it's because for me, it's more fun to create new features. So for me, it's literally, fun. Writing code, implementing new features, I like it. Uh, I don't like as much as writing new features, working on the user interface, and the user experience. I'm also not as good as I think I am with, um, the other part, I mentioned, I mean, that's a very important, part of the success of a product, and I want to spend more time on that. Any suggestions from your side? Uh, uh, just to clarify how the calendar of the videos will go. Uh, as I said, I needed to mm, to stop for a moment the production of new videos because on one side, I think we have good tutorials now. Of course, I still have a long list of things I want to make videos about, but I prefer to invest time now in the other things I mentioned. Uh, However, lives, live streaming will be um, bigger every month. Now, after this stop, I think we can keep first Monday of each month, or well, one of the first day of the month. Then uh, I won't send an email for each through the newsletter for each new live, but you will see it from the YouTube channel if you're subscriber and if you hit the notification bell. And I will also maybe post something on YouTube about that. Um, I will continue to do the live streaming because uh, it's not very time consuming for me. Um, Basically, once a month, I can just start my live. I just take some notes in the morning before the live streaming, and I can start talking without any script or without preparing the live. I like it, and it forces me to plan things because month by month, it's a moment where I can sit down and say, "Okay, what I've done during the last 4 weeks, what I'm going to do during the next 4 weeks," and talk to you about that. It also forces me to do this work, this planning work. So it's also very, very useful. Okay. Okay. So the idea of bringing all configuration to the web interface. Yes. Thank you for your feedback. Um, yes, I also think is something that DaDaBIK is missing right now. Uh, Still, I have to figure out how to present all these configurations. Right now are a lot, but the risk of having the configurations in the config file is that no one will, well, not no one, but almost no one uh, won't see them. So it's definitely something needed. Okay. And yeah, I think that on my side, I don't have anything else um, to add. Uh, these were my priorities for DaDaBIK 12. I don't know when DaDaBIK 12 will be out. I would like to release it before the summer, but I don't want to give a strict deadline because I want the product to be out when it will be um, ready, ready for the general public. And I'm not saying I won't add any new features coming from the feature suggestions forum. Probably I will also pick a few features, one or more features from that list. But first of all, I want to be sure to have a better user interface, a better user experience, both for the end users and for the admin, and a completely new website. Then I can start thinking about the let me read something from the chat. I would suggest refining database environment to improve how a developer can achieve their application goal is more important than integrating AI features which cannot be relied on accuracy. Okay, so you think AI features are not that important as uh, um, as the rest I mentioned, basically, or you are referring to something different I didn't mention. Uh, s- s- can you clarify that? And by the way, two of those features, so create an app from text and create record samples, are quite easy to implement, especially the first one. Everything is already done basically because there is already another application, Amplify Text.ai, that is already implemented. So that wouldn't take a lot of time, I would say. Samsung, hi. About the configuration, perhaps creating different wizards for different expert. Okay, okay. Can you clarify more, Samsung? Um, okay, I think I got what you mean, and it's more or less what I said before, like having maybe a few basic configuration settings, and then you can and hide everything else, and then like a button or something that show um, everything. Or you are thinking about specific wizards for specific features? Larry, add OpenAI API into DaDaBIK. Yeah, we were discussing that, saying there are well, I said 2 things. One, I'm thinking about artificial intelligence in general. I'm not sure anymore I will use OpenAI. I'm now open to other options, but I have to think about that. And we were saying that there are 4 aspects that can be integrated with AI in Database. 2 of them are easy to implement, and they most probably will be there. The other 2 uh, are not that difficult to implement, but I have some ethical concerns that I explained before, and that's why I'm not completely sure to implement them. Salson, you can have a configuration for newbies with less fields and another form with more variables. Yes, yes, that is exactly what I was thinking. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, especially even for potential customers, if they look at the DaDaBIK demo and they see like tens of options, it's just too much. I think it looks too complex. So I really have to work on that. You have any feedback suggestions for the user interface? Let's assume I will create a completely new user interface from scratch. Again, I'm not sure about that, but let's assume I do that. Any particular suggestions apart from someone said that yes, Bootstrap is still the way to go, but um, I don't know. Any other ideas you want to share? Yes, someone else said that interface needs to be improved. So yeah. Oh yeah, mobile first. That is something obviously I won't forget. And I mean, it's here. It's in DaDaBIK since many years. So that's one thing I implemented uh, since I think DaDaBIK 8 or 9. I don't remember, but yeah. David, hi David. Not sure that tooltips have been the best way to document features. Maybe links that open new tabs to specific section of the documentation. I see. And also, if you enable web configure, it should write to a custom files with upgrade paths remain robust. Okay, let me answer to both questions. So, tooltips, you mean the question marks you have in the admin section, you click and you get the tooltip, right? Um, yeah, I don't know if opening directly the chapter or documentation is probably a bit too much. Maybe we could provide a mix. Like, I mean, I like the tooltip because you get immediately the most obvious help. Then sometimes you need more help. You need more details, and then a link to the documentation chapter. Yes, it's the way to go. In addition to the tooltip, I don't know what you think about that. Actually, there's a lot that the tooltip tell you that isn't. Oh, okay. Mm, mm, that's another different problem. You are right. You're right. So what you're saying is that some documentation is hidden in the tooltips. So I've always considered the tooltips as part of the documentation, and this is probably uh, something I assumed, but many people don't. So I should replicate. I mean, I should be sure that everything there is in the tooltip is also, and perhaps in more details, in the documentation. Okay, got it. And also, if you enable web configuration, you should write to custom file. Oh, no, everything, I'm replying to David now, again. Everything, when I move something to the web configuration, it is written in the DB, so you won't have a upgrade problem at all. If this is what you were, thinking. Okay. Okay, Larry is mentioning, um, another, framework, which honestly I don't know, I'm googling right now. Okay, it's an utility framework. I see. I see. Uh, I can check it, but I think is um, I think is more similar to Tailwind than to Bootstrap. Probably it's good, but I need something more, something that has already, for example, buttons and navigation bars built in. So so that if you want to create a button, you can do it very, very easily. If I need to create a button, I can do it very, very easily. Uh, so, mm, yeah, mm, but I will evaluate other options. Uh, I'm working a lot. Restarted. I've restarted working with Bootstrap because of the website redesign, and I think that, Bootstrap 5 is good. It's good, and for an application like DaDaBIK is probably the best fit, but I still have to take the final decision. Okay, okay, Larry. Well, I will check it out. I will check it out. Alright, so I think we have discussed, and thanks for your participation. Thanks a lot. Um, we have discussed the main priorities for DataBig 12. Uh, the um, the list of features, new features that will be implemented apart from what I just said, uh, is still. I mean, the reference for from where I pick features is always the feature request forum. So I always take that in serious consideration. But as I said, first I want to focus on the user interface. Okay, so that's it. I think I'll see you in 1 month for the next live, and at that point, I will tell you what what is going to happen in the next 4 weeks. And yeah, that's it. So thanks, thanks everybody, and I see you the next live. Bye bye. Ciao.